He loves me.
And he
No.
might.
Wait, taking movies, man. Yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video with me, your unfiltered Pisces. And you already know the deal. If you're feeling the energy over here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, thank you so much for all the support I've been getting. Slowly but surely, we're on the road to 1K. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. So, as we all know, Clarissa has been very loud about her man, okay? It's my man, my man, my man, I love my man, and folks are mad that he's supposedly feeling the same way about her. Add to that being acknowledged by Rihanna, which people are obviously going to interpret in different ways. But putting all that aside, if that's really the case, Clarissa, then why hasn't this man finalized his divorce yet? Why hasn't that part been taken care of? Because clearly there has been more than enough time, right? So we're going to do a quick recap to lay out the timeline so everything makes sense. We know Remy and Papoose got married back in 2008, and that wedding took place in New York. I'm pointing that out because I went online and looked up New York divorce laws to see how long the process actually takes. Then we also know they renewed their vows in 2015 on Love and Hip Hop. Fast forward to late 2024, which is when the public was informed about their separation. Around that same time, there were reports of Remy allegedly dealing with a battle rapper, and Remy also made it known in late 2024 that Papoose was talking to Clarissa. Now, we also know Clarissa and Papoose just celebrated their one-year anniversary in September. That means they got together in September of 2024, which adds even more time to how long this separation has supposedly been happening. And I'm saying all of this for a reason, because it matters. So yo, I'm gonna read this quickly so we don't end up with a super long video. Like I said, I looked this up specifically because the marriage happened in New York. New York does not have a mandatory waiting period before filing for divorce, but procedural steps can cause delays, especially the required 40-day waiting period after serving papers before you can file the final documents. That is, if the other spouse doesn't immediately respond. Now, Remy did say that Papoose wasn't taking action and was stalling. Then later, he came out and said otherwise. So, let's keep going. When it comes to timelines and waiting periods, there's no official waiting period to file. You can file immediately if grounds exist, such as the marriage being broken for 6 months or longer. After filing, papers must be served within 120 days, followed by a 40-day waiting period before final documents can be submitted. If the spouse defaults, meaning they don't sign the affidavit, that can also slow things down. If the spouse cooperates and signs quickly, the case can move much faster. Under no-fault grounds, the marriage must be broken for at least 6 months, which it clearly has been. Under at-fault grounds, there must be specific conditions, such as abandonment of the marriage for at least 1 year. Right now, it breaks down the factors that can affect a divorce timeline. One of the biggest ones is uncontested versus contested. Uncontested, meaning both parties agree, can move much faster, sometimes as quick as 3 to 6 months. Then you have court workload and backlogs, because depending on how busy the courts are, that alone can add weeks or even months. On top of that, paperwork errors can cause serious delays, like simple mistakes holding everything up. But even with all of that, the overall summary still says there is no single mandatory waiting period. Procedural steps, especially the 40-day service rule, along with whether you file no fault or at fault, determine how fast a divorce can move in New York. So realistically, there shouldn't be an excuse here. And now that I'm really thinking about it, let's rewind. They met at the fight in July 2024, and that's when he allegedly said he was a fan of hers. That's also when the rumors started that they exchanged numbers and began texting. So again, that adds more time, meaning they would have already been separated around then, which, based on what we know, puts this close to 2 years. But let's go back even further. When the rumors about Easy and Remy came out, that was late 2023. I went back and checked, and the battle where Geechee Gotti exposed that situation happened in September 2023. That tells us there were already issues back then. Now, yes, people do try to work things out sometimes, so let's bring it back to the present. If he approached her in July, that would mean they had to be separated earlier in 2024, allegedly. Let me make sure I say that clearly, allegedly. But that still puts us creeping up on 2 years. Now, Papoose finally showed divorce papers around May 2025. Remember, Remy had already said she had everything ready and was waiting on him. Her lawyer was trying to reach out, and according to her, he wasn't responding or engaging. Once she exposed that, suddenly he posted paperwork online and all of that. But that raises another question for me. Why did he wait that long? Why did it take Remy calling it out publicly for him to finally show papers? And just stay with me here. With all that in mind, you and Clarissa got together in September 2024. You just celebrated your 1-year anniversary. So why did it take 8 months after that to finally show divorce papers while you were already in another relationship? Clarissa, why did it take Remy pointing it out for him to suddenly say, "Here goes the paperwork, I'm waiting on her"? Because from the outside looking in, it feels like he was holding on to hope. And Clarissa, if this man is so in love, why did it take 8 months into being with you for him to move forward with his own divorce process? He's been with you almost a year, but only showed action in May. It doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. And there's one more thing I want to point out. Now, remember when Remy went live and said, "Tell your current to stop speaking on me. Every time she speaks on me, I'm going to drag you. I'm going to drag you. Tell her to be quiet." And remember, Clarissa's response was, "No, I'm not going to shut up." She said she wasn't going to be silent, that she didn't have a problem with Remy. She made it clear, yes, they're together, yes, they're in love, and yes, they plan on having a family. And then she went even further and said, "And Remy, you're invited to family functions as long as you're not bringing negative energy." That was said early on, very early on. Now, I went back and looked it up because I wanted the exact wording straight from what's out there. Clarissa said, "Remy Ma, I'm going to say whatever I want to say. Yes, we're going to have a family. Yes, we're happy. And yes, you're still invited to barbecues and cookouts as long as you come with a good attitude. Leave me and Pap alone." And she kept going. But here's the part people are skipping over. That statement was made in May. Meaning you're saying this 8 months later to his ex-wife, inviting her to cookouts and barbecues. 8 months in, you're talking about starting a family with this man. Meanwhile, that same man waited 8 months to show divorce papers and only started the process after his ex-wife publicly called him out for stalling. But Clarissa, you keep saying this man is in love. You keep saying people are mad because he's in love and people just can't take it. That's the narrative, right? Yet he made no real effort to speed up the divorce process. Come on, Clarissa, I know you can't be that blind to the red flags. They're not subtle. They're right there in your face, and somehow you're still choosing not to see them. I swear, y'all, you cannot make this up. You really can't. And honestly, even from his perspective, that should have been a red flag. Y'all haven't even been together a full year, and 8 months in, you're already talking about having a family? You don't even fully know each other yet. You're still learning habits, triggers, patterns. How do you jump straight to "let's have a family" that fast? I'm telling you, this whole thing feels like a Lifetime movie waiting to happen. And speaking of that, y'all know how I am with my little scenarios, so let me paint one real quick before I wrap this video up, and y'all tell me in the comments what you think. Now remember that movie, The Family That Prays? It's actually free on YouTube right now. Remember the scene where Sanaa's character is in the hotel room thinking she's about to see William, but instead it's his wife that shows up? Okay, so let's flip the script a little. Picture this. Clarissa pulls up to the house. She sees Pop's car parked outside, but she doesn't realize it's Remy driving it. She's got a key, so she doesn't think twice. She walks in talking out loud like everything is normal. Phew. Listen, they worked me out crazy today. Training was hard. I'm exhausted. All I want to do is kick my feet up and rest. I was thinking about cooking later, but I might have to sit down first. Then she keeps going. And my sister, why's she calling me talking about all I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth? Girl, please. Then she asking me about food, talking about her food stamp card don't reload until next week, asking me to DoorDash something? Like, what do I look like? I'm already paying rent, utilities, everything, and now you want food too? She pauses. Pap, why are you so quiet? You in the bathroom or something? On the computer? She walks toward the kitchen, grabs a bottle of water, heads toward the living room, and freezes, dead in her tracks. It's Remy. The bottle drops. Remy? What are you doing in my house? How did you even get in here? And Remy looks at her and says, calm as ever, that's right, Clarissa, Mrs. Mackey, you're delusional. You were so blinded by the fantasy that you couldn't see the play being run on you. Do you really think his husband loves you? Be serious. He saw an opportunity. He wanted access, management, influence, a percentage. You were easy to guide. She steps closer. Do you really think he was ever going to bring you around his family, to reunions, holidays? Do you think he'd parade you around at galas and award ceremonies on his arm? Then she reaches out. Here, take the keys. You won't be needing these. There won't be any baby either. And my husband, he won't be seeing you anymore. The only time he'll deal with you is when it's time for fights and music. And yes, I'll be there. Now cut to Clarissa calling Pap. Pap? What's going on? I've been calling you and it's straight voicemail. Remy was at my house. Are you okay? And his response? Clarissa, it's over. My wife and I decided to reconcile. We're taking the steps to repair our marriage. What? Pap, no, we love each other. We were supposed to have a family. Silence. Clarissa, get off my car. Next scene, Clarissa hanging on to the hood as he pulls away. Now listen, let me be very clear. This is all for entertainment purposes only. All jokes, all scenarios, just fun commentary over here. Don't come for me.